loves, welcome, willkommen to your reading with me, Natalie, spelled Natalee. Hope you guys are doing very well. I have an extremely exciting story I've got to tell you before we dig into what I'm tuning in for your message. So what's today? This is very end of day energy, but I have energy for this reading. This is like literally almost midnight on Tuesday. So okay, so this would be, today's Tuesday, so I guess this was yesterday. It feels like a really long time ago, but I guess this was just yesterday. Okay, so you guys know that I've been working with Archangel Metatron. I've been working with Metatron since November 2021, and it had nothing to do with the eclipses. It was just sort of like, it's just happened that way. And what happened yesterday is what I thought working with Metatron, Archangel Metatron, was going to be from the beginning. And it wasn't. Not at all. It was so not what I expected working with Archangel Metatron. And it's been very like, so anyway, so it's taken, how long has it been? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It's been 10.5 months for the kind of experience that I experienced yesterday. Okay. So the first 10.5 months was a lot of like tearing down, or I don't know, like a re-education, like emptying the cup. So I was out yesterday and someone was helping me, doing me a huge solid. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is very, great. We manifested some assistance, cosmic assistance, right? So in the middle of this, Metatron talks to me, and it was a very loud place that I was in, and everything tuned, the volume went out, and I just was with I was like in this training thing with Metatron. Metatron told me exactly what to do. Okay, because it's like everything, all the volume, and okay, let me explain. I forgot to say this part. Okay, so everything that I'm telling you and I'm about to tell you, it was all in one big moment. So all of the individual details, they're gonna sound linear and separated, but you need to know that it was all happening at the same time in one big moment, okay? So I saw something, okay? I saw this stuff, and I was like, what's that? And right when I saw it, between this person helping me and myself, is when Archangel Metatron started telling me what it was and what to do. He basically taught me how to, it was karma. This was actual, like the energy of karma. Positive, good karma, because this person was helping me and it was creating good karma, and that's what I saw coming up. And so Metatron taught me how to, God, what would be the word? It's not like a blessing. Metatron taught me how to essentially make it, and this is the weird thing, like psychic information, it's not like English language or any language. It's, how do I explain? He basically taught me how to make it so that I can make it. He taught me how to, this is so Mercury retrograde too. He taught me how to do this, how to do the energy work that would result in this person receiving his positive karma benefit that day. And that's what he told me to do. And he told me to do this and instructed me how to do this. And I was doing it like all at the same time. And there was a lot more that goes into doing this. And here's the cool part, is that when I started doing this person that was helping me, you can always tell I talk about this in one of the practical magic classes, I think the telepathy one, how you can tell when a person or an animal or an insect is still psychic, because they respond and they react and they feel it, and they are visibly different when you're doing this, when you're establishing this connection. And when I was doing this stuff, this work, this person that was helping me, like, really just like moved different, and like it's like he got like a boost of energy is what it looked like. Visibly, it looked like he just like kind of woke up a little bit, and I know that I was doing this. So it was like Metatron showed me like some good thing that's going to happen to this man, this person that was helping me later in the day, and it was just, that's the kind of thing that I thought I was going to be learning like the past 10 and a half months. And so it was just so unexpected. And so it was kind of amazing. It was an amazing experience. So that was like, this whole instance was kind of synchronistic that I was even out and doing this thing. And so that was the training, that was practice. And so that I had to share with you guys. So anyone that wants to work with any of the archangels, there's a lot of angels. I was just talking to in one of my consigliere sessions, talking about like, oh, there's angels for like everything. But if you're wanting to or trying to work with an archangel, you know, there's Metatron, there's a lot. Don't give up. Like if you are, like if you feel like you're not getting anything, because I wasn't getting any direct communication that clear for a couple of months, and then it was this, and then it was that, and then it kind of built. So for me, I had to, maybe I wasn't like, I don't know, my consciousness wasn't expanded enough or something, or I don't know what it was, but maybe it was just not the right time yet. But like when you're ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so that's exactly like Metatron showed up, and it was this whole big experience. So I had to share that with you guys. I've been so excited to tell you guys about that since it happened. Because I talk to you guys in my head too, just like you guys talk to me in your head. So that's definitely, that story is for someone. And okay, so that's that. That's my arc. That's like the hugest breakthrough, the absolute hugest breakthrough. I would say, how long did it take me before I started getting anything back that I could discern was Metatron? I would say it probably took like November, December, like maybe 2 months. And every day, I've been doing things like every day, trying to work with Metatron, like every single day since November. So just be patient and just trust. Like everything happens when you're ready, and when it's happening means you're ready. And when things are happening and you feel like you're not ready, it'll probably feel like a crisis or some kind of like devastation or something. But think about your first car crash. You know, you freak out, you're like, oh, you know, you maybe you don't know who to call or what to do or the protocols. But if you drive, that's bound to happen. It's not your first, it's not your last. And then you get a little bit, you know, or you get injured doing extreme sports, or you're surfing and you have a bad wipeout, or I don't know, you know. And so it's like okay, I experienced that. I know how it goes, you know. So the crisis is only a crisis because we're not at the level that we need to be at to deal with that crisis. But we meet the crisis, whatever happens, happens. And then after the crisis, now we are at that level of being able to deal with it, whatever it happens to be. So how did I get there? Anyway, so keep going. Don't give up. And if you don't think everything's on time, whatever is like happening in life, like you're ready for it. Okay. So same thing if you're trying to work with one of the archangels or any of this stuff. If you're having psychic experiences, you know, you're ready to start learn. Especially if you're watching this video, you're absolutely ready to learn to, you know, when you watch my videos or any other psychic activators, I see that's like one of the labels that people have to help identify people that do this kind of work is like a psychic activator. So if you're watching a psychic activator on, you know, YouTube or TikTok or something, and you're watching them, you're gonna, that's a perfect little label, because they will activate you. I will activate anyone around me or anything around me that is psychic. So the abilities will, stuff will, you know, happen. So okay, so that's my Metatron story. Let's talk about the energy that I'm tuning into for you guys. Okay, I know that Venus is in Virgo right now, and I know that Venus is like a little bit stressed in Virgo. And that Venus does not enter Libra until Thursday, the 29th of September. I can look at a calendar and still not know what day I'm in. But I'm feeling Venus in Libra. I'm feeling it. I'm like there energetically. I'm already there. It feels really nice. It feels such a relief. It's really nice. Feels great. Feels very relaxed. Also very like heady too, though. Like you, it's like you finally, if you were trying to align something, if you're designing something, you know, in a program or something, and you're trying to match the boop, you know, and it's not doing it, you know, or something, and it's like Venus in Libra, perfect, aesthetically pleasing. So let's take a look. What does that mean? Does that mean anything? If this is a happy, oh, maybe not. I was gonna say, if this is a happy reading, it might not be a long reading. I feel like the happy ones are just like way shorter, because there's like a lot less energy to like a work. But Four of Cups, maybe not. Maybe there's some energy work to do. Four of Cups. She's bringing my attention to the crossed like hands. I am not getting up. It is a few minutes to midnight. That is another thing too. So I feel like I've been talking so much more per minute, like fitting more into 1 minute than I should be able to. Like I've been talking or having, you know, sessions, and it feels like a long time has gone by. Like we've fit so much in, but then there's like a lot of like, all right, clearly cannot go by the feeling of time. Four of Cups. There's something with this, like this with the wrists. Oh, that's right. So I'm not going to get up and like super go show you. We're just going to have to use my super long arms. Okay. So you can kind of see it. It's like his hands. This almost feels like kind of protective, sort of how we lower our chins to cover our necks, you know, our throats essentially. It feels kind of like that. So this feels a little bit more protective than apathetic or like rejecting. It feels more like, even his chin is down. Oh, wow. Yeah, even his chin is down. Yeah, someone's like protecting their throat, you know, like just protecting themselves. So it's not like super like negative or anything. So maybe emotionally guarded. What message am I here to deliver? Four of Swords and, oops, Four of Swords and the Knight of Swords. This feels a little bit like, how would I put this? Something's a little bit incongruent with the feelings and the mind, where it's almost like wanting to be like rational or prudent. We'll open this up with this Knight of Swords and the High Priestess. You might be working with your own tarot cards. You might be consulting your own oracles. You may be tapping into your own subconscious mind. I feel like this is extremely subjective. It feels almost like it's sort of like you're trying, I feel like someone is sort of self-aware that they're having a subjective experience, and they're trying to have like a little bit more balance in this objectivity, or they're trying to orient themselves. We need to open all of this up. Oh, I'm getting pop music with this. Seven of Wands and the Knight of Wands. You know, all right, we're going to start opening this up because we're going to start opening this up. Three of Cups, Six of Wands, and Temperance, bottom of the deck. This is my slow cooker crock pot card. Let me fix this. Very nice. Slow cooker crock pot card. That takes a while. That absolutely takes a while. But it's very, why do I feel like this is Venus and Libra here? This feels very balanced, like you've got the right amounts of the right things. It's the right color palette. It's like a Wes Anderson movie. Like all of those frickin' pastels. And in this case, it's maybe socially, or it's the friend group, or it's your own personal like entourage, or your closest friends. This is a supporter. This is a huge cheerleader, or I don't want to say like a coach. It's more like someone that, like the way they're holding this. And I love that this deck has it face on, full frontal, whereas the other decks, it's always like that profile where you see them carrying the big thing. But see how they're carrying that one wand with the wreath forward? It's like they're carrying your banner, or your sigil, your emblem, your logo, your marker, your name, your image, your colors, you know, all of that. It's very, there's some kind of modern, trendy, idiomatic expression for this sort of thing, and I don't know it. It could have taken a while to find your greatest allies or supporters, or for some of you, it could have taken this long of a time to find like your marketing structure or your image projection or its identity. Someone's figuring out their identity. Here's the thing, don't feel insecure if you don't have it all of that kind of thing figured out. We're always, if we're alive, if you have a physical body, you're learning. We all are. We're all just learning different things at different times. That's why I always say I'd rather understand than judge. Because you don't want someone judging you for things you haven't learned yet. What you take for granted that it makes sense to you, so you know that. It doesn't make sense to somebody else. They're spending years learning what you take for granted because it just makes perfect sense to you. Whereas it's vice versa. So you're not able to figure something out, but it makes sense like that for somebody else. So why bother judging each other? So don't judge yourself is what I'm trying to say. Don't judge yourself. Be very patient with yourself. All you have to do is try and keep going. You can take breaks when it gets overwhelming and when there are crises and things. Take a break and then begin again. Start again. That's the, what's his name? Goenka? I think that's his name. And I did the 10-day meditation course. It's free. It's dhamma.org if anybody's interested. So this is be very patient with yourself. You know, for instance, your identity is going through like a fruiting or a blossoming because of the people you're attracting into your experience. Different people, different vibe, different recommendeds on your YouTube feed, okay? Like just different vibes and what you're attracted to, what you're curious about. Growth. Okay, let's open this up. Let's take a look at this Four of Cups. It's going to be a great Halloween this year. Make sure you are subscribed, that you've toggled the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Let's take a look at this Four of Cups. These are all very little energies too. The only major arcanas are Temperance and the High Priestess. Very internal, very spiritual, subjective, and connecting to the divine type energies. What's this? Four of Strength. Here's the thing. Number one, ego dies with the body. Number two, ego is really just trying to keep you alive. The self-preservation instinct. There's instinct and there's intuition. Instinct is human. It's the beastliness inside of us. And intuition is a little bit more connected with the divine. So instinct is going to tell you, don't change. Don't do anything different. Keep everything as it is. Keep that going. Oh, this is cute, but I kind of want it a little bit more like that. Thank you. Keep it status quo because it's trying to keep you alive. So that's why people really don't want to grow. They don't want to change. They don't want to be different because they're feeling like maybe like a real threat to their life or something. On some level, you know, it's their ego or it's their instinct that's like trying to keep them held back and not break generational patterns or, you know, do anything different. However, it's that connection to the divine, this person, it's your intuition, it's your own psychic ability in some cases that wants you to leap towards the future and outgrow maybe even the version of you that is just in survival mode, or the version of you that is just trying to get out of a bad situation or stay out of a bad situation. So it looks like that's what this is. So it's funny because I was even, see how she's it's only a couple minutes. How long is this? We're at like 24 minutes. So see how even she is holding his, I saw something over there. You know how she's like holding the lion's, the neck is up and holding the jaws wide, like that. Oops. Exposing the throat, even when I'm trying to like, I can't eat when there's anything touching my throat. I usually put my hair back when I eat too. Like I just can't, like I can't, I don't eat in turtlenecks. Or if I do, I hold it away from my neck. I don't know if that means anything, but I just, you know. So that's all that this is. This is like an emotional protective mechanism. So it looks like you are, or someone in your situation with whomever you're connecting, they are just protecting themselves. But they're overcoming the survivor to thrive. The version of you, if anyone's been through anything like, you know, heinous or something, the version of you that survived, maybe even your childhood, that's not the version of you that's going to thrive in happiness and glory. I feel like someone does want happiness and glory here with this Six of Wands. Like that's just such, you know, like Alexander the Great, just with that scene in the movie Alexander with like Colin Firth, but he's like, it's like this huge glory parade and like, you know, very win, you know, like I get that with the Six of Wands, which is why I like that it's very like, you know, full on. It's like winner, you know. This is an emotional balance that you need to have for that. And that's what this little part is alchemizing this. It's a body language thing too. Covering the neck. And in this case, in this pictogram, he's covering his groin. Another protective type of an instinct. So you just need to feel safe. That is, so when a feminine dominant person does not feel safe in the relationship, if you're in a relationship, I only speak heteronormatively for simple ease of examples and conversation. So please understand that I acknowledge everybody. Feminine dominant in a relationship, if she doesn't feel safe, she will behave in her masculine energy more dominantly. She'll be more masculine dominant, even if she's like a feminine dominant at heart. She'll, you know, that might be what's going on here. Because when you're safe, you relax. You can just chill, you know. When you feel safe, you lighten. When you feel joy and happiness, because you can grow still in a state of joy and happiness. You can also grow in a state of survival and pain and suffering. So there's just different cycles. So this is almost like this is you or this person with whom you're connecting has done a lot of growth through the pain and suffering and surviving. And now universe, fate is bringing you or this person into a successful period, a successful growth period. And it's in a state of balance and happiness and contentment and safety. So that's kind of the overcoming that I'm getting with this strength. It's that divinity overcoming the human instinct, you know, the fight or flight or hide, you know. Okay, let's move on. Let's take a look at this Knight of Swords and this Four of Swords. Here comes the sun. happy days. That is so happy. I love that the sunflowers are just like following the sun. You know what I learned? Okay, so you guys know how I always talk about Leos, how you guys are like super shouty, and how like Leos will be talking. I mean, in my life, Leos will be talking. I'm like, shh, side voices, because they're just like boom, 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 boom. You know. Guess what I found out, you guys? Love you guys to pieces. You guys are the sunlight giving life to the rest of the universe. I acknowledge your excellency. What did I learn about the sun? I learned that some deaf people, deaf people expected sunlight to have a noise. When they started to hear, they expected the sunlight to be loud and to have a noise. And they found that the sun actually does have a noise. And if it were not for the vacuum of space-time here on Earth, it would sound like jackhammers all the time. Does that make sense or what? Makes perfect sense. I get that. It resonates. It resonates. That's why Leos are so loud. They're bright and they're loud. I mean, I'm not like crying about it, okay? Just saying. Just saying. Learned that recently. There might be Leo energy here. There might be. You don't have to be Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. You can be, doesn't have to be. This looks like someone here feeling a lot better about creative ideas or talking or conversating or situations moving a little bit faster. I mean, this is going from like meditation, like sleep. Like your brain waves are going from zzz to zzz, okay, with Four of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Like they're very, you're either closing something out and feeling really great about it, or you're opening something up and feeling really great about it. So this can be like a really nice resolution, you know, settling out of court. Or something, you know, closing something up, feeling real good about it. And see, when you're really feeling good, you feel light, relaxed, safe, happy, joyous, but light. You are light in feeling. I bet that's why I wasn't able to be under the tutelage of Archangel Metatron quite in the way that I am able to be now, is because there was maybe too much density still. The red feather is significant for someone. Red feather. That might come up for you. You might actually see a red feather. Like that plume. How it's just like plume. Like just like this one. Anyway, you feel great about it. Let's take a look at the High Priestess, please. Ooh. Eight of Cups, Judgment, and the Moon. Now you have a lot more Major Arcana. So there's a lot of stirring in your subconscious. Like the Moon and the High Priestess is super subconscious. You might have some access that you normally do not have. The Moon, Judgment, and the Eight of Cups. So this is an emotion. These are emotional. How do you do the work? Whether it's shadow work or manifesting work, timeline, or whatever. It's through the emotions. It's through the feeling. It's through regulation. It's through direction. And that's really where it has to, at the very least, start. And then it becomes more and more and more advanced. So I kind of wonder what you're leaving behind, though. It's something, I always feel the pull of the Eight of Cups, what's pulling you by the heart forward. But I'm kind of curious as to what's being left behind with this Judgment energy. It's like calling it. Here, okay, thank you. When you make up your mind, when you really decide something for yourself, that feeling, if it's true, if it's gonna stick, if it's a real decision that is going to stick, you never forget the moment you make that decision. Those are truly life-changing moments. There's life up until that decision and then life after it. That's a timeline jump. She's giving me, so I remember the moment. This is like this. This is an illustrated example of this at work, at play. So you guys know I was bullied a lot growing up, blah, blah, blah. I remember the exact moment that I made the decision that I was not going to care about what people think of me. Been to 6 different grammar schools in 8 years and bullied, blah, blah, blah. And it was the end of 7th grade. The end of 7th grade, I'll never forget it. And I decided to myself, no one likes me. I get it, fine. I can't be not me. And I don't want to be not me. So the only option I have is to not care anymore. And I made up my mind then and there that I would never care what another human being or group thought of me ever again. I made a promise to myself. It really set me free. I walked into 8th grade like, got into huge power struggles with the teacher, Ms. Deddy. Because you can't do anything with a person that doesn't care. They tried to fail me for 8th grade, and I was like, I don't fucking care. I didn't swear, but I was like, all right, whatever, I don't care. You want to be with me another year? That's your decision. So they gave me this additional work to do while I was going to 8th grade to like make up the work so that I could like pass. And the work was it was a Roman Catholic school. And the work was to interview the priest. I knew I was psychic at this point. I very much knew that. And not only that, but I recognized this priest from another Catholic school that I went to. They moved him, and this is before I saw documentaries and before I read about how the Roman Catholic Church would just shuffle pedophiles around to different communities. I just felt like all of the alarms going off. And so not only did I not interview him, but I wrote the most offensive, not like super offensive, but just like very insulting and cheeky like responses to these questions and answers. And it was just clear that I did not care or try or actually even interview this person. And they passed me. They passed me because they didn't want to deal with me for another year. I should have failed the 8th grade. Anyway, but the students, my classmates, funny enough, they loved me. I was super popular in 8th grade. I had friends. And they wanted to hang out with me. They were pretty nice. They were cool. They were fine. And I was like, this entire time, I was being bullied because I cared what they thought about me, and they used that, they weaponized that against me. When this entire time, my whole life up until that point, I could have just been exactly who I am that taught me something. That taught me a lot. You never forget those moments where you make a decision when it's got the actual emotion of conviction and convincingness behind it. You don't ever look back. No one can buy that for you or gift it to you or bequeath it to you. You either have that, it comes up or it doesn't come up. You get the motivation, it's something you want for yourself, or you come up to the moment that you know you don't have it in you. And maybe that's like cowardice or something, where you just know that you can. What's that story of the guy? I think I read it. Oh no, I read it on a Reddit about someone's ancestor who hid in a horse carcass while the war was being fought. And he's like, well, that's how I'm alive, is that my great-great-grand so-and-so was a coward or something. But everyone's got to live with our own choices. That's what I'll say. I would rather die with my integrity and being exactly who I am, you know. So when you make that decision, whatever it is, whatever this happens to be about for you, you really don't look back. Because it's that true, it's that strong, it's that honest. And it's got that emotional juice to it and that emotional strength to it. That's kind of what I'm feeling with the Eight of Cups and this judgment energy. Like judgment, it's judgment day. You don't go back, you know, this is it. I have had it up to here, you know, whatever it is, whatever, I don't know, whatever the situation is, just saying. So, but you will mine, you have like a great access to your subconscious. It might be a dream you have. Like you have such great access to your subconscious. Like you know, you don't feel like you know yourself. There's something going on with your identity, but you actually do. Learn to trust yourself at this time. Even with the moon and the sun, these two luminaries, something is becoming clear to you, is coming to light. To you, in your mind, in your emotions or something. This happened again. I've had a lot of moments like that in my life, particularly my childhood, but another moment, I don't remember how old I was, but I remember when I learned the word jaded, like what that word meant. And I promised myself then and there that I would never be that. I would never be jaded. All right, let's move on. What's this Seven of Wands and this Knight of Wands? Why am I not calling it out? Oh, it's not about me, it's about the message. When I was talking about the luminaries, I was going to say the star, and I just didn't. I mean, I can't even keep up with the psychic slips anyway, so I guess it's fine. Who was the last sign? I think it was Pisces to have the psychic slip. All right. Well, now you have them all. You have the sun, you have the moon, and you have all the stars in your night sky. Congratulations. Yeah, this is clearly some big motivation or some big kind of inspiration that this is a solution that comes to you. And what I like about this is I feel like the solution is maybe how you have some kind of advantage or how you use your advantage. Listen, I can sit here and watch some Caucasian male screenwriter talking about his troubles or his pains or his how hard things are for him. I could, if I were like a denser vibration, I could build a resentment towards this person, thinking, oh my God, he's so privileged. And he's not using, listen, everyone can look at you and whatever you are in life and say they're not making the most of their privilege. They're not making the most. Someone could look at me and say, oh my God, she's living in America. She's living in an American city, and she's looking at some whatever guy thinking that, you know what I'm saying? Everyone feels like someone else isn't using the privilege that they have, and that's victim mentality. That's like, oh, if I only had that, if I were only like this, okay? This is almost like discovering this part of your identity and feeling very self-empowered to use everything that you have, everything that you are. I was born ableist. I was born in an American city. I was born quite slender in a culture that is fucking whack. But that's what they value that. Some people like the way I look. That's a privilege. What else? Now that does make me susceptible to incest and rape and people attempting to take advantage of me. But it is considered a privilege. There's things, yes, that are supporting my success, but then there's a lot of strikes against me too. I'm a woman. I'm indigenous. So everyone has that. First of all, I'm a Capricorn sun and an Aquarian moon. And I have a stellium with my sun. That's ego-centered. That is someone in my 7th house. Like, that is definitely someone that has to focus on their goals, their vitality and life force. I happen to be someone that, when you have the sun in the 7th house, you definitely, your vitality expresses itself in like a whole different way. You get fulfilled. I get such fulfillment and joy when I'm doing my Zoom sessions, for instance, or, helping other people, building somebody else up. Like, it really fulfills me. But my ego, and you can maybe kind of feel this when, these stories growing up, my ego always said, I'm not jealous of anyone. I'm not envious of anyone else, because that is beneath me. Looking at anybody else and being jealous of them and like harping and just thinking about, oh, this, a writer, director, actor is not using his privilege, and there's so much more ahead than me. I don't want to feel those feelings. I don't want to think that way, because that's beneath me. So that ego expression has to work somehow. It has to be active. But the way my ego works is like all of those things, being jealous or envious or competitive, like toxically competitive like that, that's all beneath me. I don't want to feel those things. I never did. It's like, how can you do that? It's just not the same. I don't know what this man's been through. I don't know what other people have been through, so, sometimes I do know because I'm psychic, but, for the purpose of this example, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell you guys, we would rather understand than judge, because it's a better experience for us. It's about do you see how I just did that? It's about us. That's ego. It's not about we would rather understand than judge them to protect them from our judgment. No, it's about your experience for you. That it's a better feeling for you to be understanding. That's who I'm looking out for. Whenever I have a consigliere session or a psychic tarot reading session, you guys are always the star. You're always the hero. You're always the main character. Everything I say. Everything else gets put on the shelf, and it's just you. And I genuinely like that because my son's in the 7th house. So this star, the moon and the sun, the star with the 7 of Wands and this Knight of Wands, I feel like this is almost like something just unlocking, unfreaking locking inside of you, where you feel inspired. You feel inspired to, I don't want to say be competitive, because it's not about other people. It's not about anyone else or anything else. Maybe it's just a solution to a problem. It might just be a solution to a problem that you have like an aha moment. I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. Seven of Wands. Thank you. She's saying it's the solution is your advantage. Use your advantage. Use your privileges. Use your advantages. Like what I said in another video, if you are whatever, if you were born into money or privileges that are very rare, you know, whatever happens to be, you don't have to feel, nothing good comes of anyone feeling bad about that. Just define yourself. This is an identity thing of who you are, how you're going to move through the world, what your values are. And set that tone for yourself and for your life. But do it from your own image. I'm a Capricorn. I'm here to create in the physical. You know, like manifestly so. So, like, I feel like there's some kind of breakthrough here in your subconscious, in your subjective reality, in your emotional reality, and it frees you up. It really frees you up to... Here's the thing. So you cannot create when you are in survival mode, when you're in a state of lack, or it's like if you act on that energy when you're in fear, self-loathing, anxiety, depression, the actions will be like tainted. It'll probably lead you to some lesson that you're trying to learn. The solutions and the best actions come when you are in a state of joy, relaxedness, happiness, serenity, peace, chillness, your Zen state. So that's kind of like this, like something, you get out of something, you overcome the self, you overcome that, you know, survival type energy, or that protective, I would say protective type energy, so that you can create from a place of feeling safe. That Empress energy, that divine feminine energy, is the multiplicator of images. When they feel safe, when they feel like they don't have to be on guard all the time. But then otherwise, when they're not feeling that way, then they're not creating, and they're not sharing, and they're not multiplying. Then it's all inverted, it's all twisted. So that's kind of what I'm getting with this. You're going to get into you're going to make a decision. You are with whom you are connecting, going to make a decision, and it's once and for all. You don't go back. I have not gone back. It's very freeing, like whatever this is, whatever this all is. You overcome that part of you that is like very super duper protective. Feel great about it. Feel lighted. You like I said, you might be closing something out very quickly. And that might be an idea, like a mentality or a way of thinking or a perspective or a belief or, you know, what have you. And you make up that decision for yourself, and then you do heal. You're in a state of healing and peace, serenity, chillness. And you get either a great idea or a great solution that just rushes into your consciousness. And for some of you, that might even be like a physical manifestation that takes place at some time sometime during or after this reading. This is a little bit magical. And it's very special that you have all of the luminaries. You have the sun, the moon, and the star. It's very significant. This is very much... Guys, it was so clever. I found this astrology blog. And you know how everything is like astro this and astro that? This... Or spheres and this and spherical that, you know, with all the astrology stuff and astrology like marketing and branding. You guys know I'm a sucker for some nice words here. I found an astrology blog called When the Curves Align. How clever. Has nothing to, you know, and I know for SEO, I get it. You people want, I get it. I'm just saying, as a writer, I very much appreciate the ingenuity when the curves align. Oh, it's got like the curve and the straight. Oh, I just love it when the curves align. Oh, it's so cool. It's really cool. I read that and I was like, okay, do we need to, let's see, Seven of Swords, King of Wands, and Justice. This could be like specifically a legal matter that was really stumping you for some people, and you have some ally. An ally that brings to you the emotional balance that you need to free up blockages to get the solution. The answer, the strategy, the formation. And it works out to your favor. Settle out of court. That's kind of funny. Okay, let's get your divine feather. Oh, okay, there we go. 58 minutes. That's more, that feels more like it. The parrot. Let go of others' thoughts and opinions. It is time to embrace. I'll get up for this one. It is time to embrace who you really are. It is time to let go of others' thoughts and opinions. It is time to embrace who you really are. All right. Bottom of the deck, the Osprey. Your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. I'm not going to get up for that, but you know it's there. Osprey, your success is now at hand. Allow the abundance to flow to you effortlessly. My work here is done. I love you guys. Take very good care. I will check in on your energies next time. Until then, many, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Ah.